Front page of today's New York Times. I saw a little item on the war that is being fought along our southern border with Mexico. How the violence could soon spread to the United States. The real story is, hey, New York Times, we know, we got it. Welcome to the party. I can't help but be amazed that America's paper of record finally is waking up to something that we on the fringe of the media have been shouting about for months. Mexico has a weak, ineffective government. Drug cartels have muscled in, filled that power vacuum. They're out of control. American citizens now are paying the price with their very lives. Maybe if the story had been happening, I don't know, maybe, between the border of Park and Madison Avenues here in New York, the Times would have gotten around to this story a little sooner. The only word to describe what's going on our border is war. According to the New York Times, on surprisingly, one story that they seem to be getting right, at least today, thousands of Mexican troops have flooded into border towns like Rio Bravo and Tijuana with 50 caliber machine guns mounted on their jeeps while jets are streaking across the Mexican sky. In response, the drug cartels are fighting fire with fire. They are unleashing thousands of rounds and trying to level the playing field with rocket-propelled grenade launchers. These armed drug smugglers are now taking their violence to the United States. Just last weekend, yet another Border Patrol agent was killed as he tried to stop one of them. We reported that on last night's program. Maybe now that it's on the front page in Manhattan, we can start talking about this crisis that is on our border and help Americans understand how Mexico's problem is our problem, and it is a deadly one, both physically and economically. Rusty Fleming is the producer of Drug Wars. He is a documentary filmmaker that looked into the different Mexican drug gangs. Rusty, you're one of the few people that have actually hung out with these people. I can't get anybody who's in television or, in a newspaper anywhere near the border to talk about this. These drug gangs are completely out of control. Why the uptick in violence today?
Well, it's simple, Glenn. I mean, up until now, the Mexican government has never represented a threat to them. Up until just recently, really in the last 6 months, there's never been a real offensive mounted against them. So if they weren't threatened, they didn't have to come out with a lot of violence.
All right, let me just recap. Somebody came up to me in church on Sunday and said, "Glenn, do you know that they're rolling heads into restaurants?" And I said, "Yeah. I've got the pictures of what happens where they behead people and then try to freak everybody out. I've got them in my office. I can't yet get clearance to show them on TV. But now they've crossed the line into killing women and children and anybody who happens to be standing around, right or wrong."
All the boundaries are gone, Glenn. I mean, this particular group, the cartels that we knew growing up, and the gangs that we knew are gone. Smash it. Their history. They don't exist.
For anybody who doesn't understand, this is 1920 Chicago style kind of stuff, plus 10. They've got explain the Zeta war tax that they have.
The Zeta what, Glenn?
The war tax.
Oh, the war tax. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's for instance in Nuevo Laredo, they now have a war tax that they've imposed on not just illegitimate businesses like drug dealers and extortion schemes, but they've imposed it on legitimate businesses, pharmacies, dentists, doctors, and everybody has to pay this tax, or if they don't, then they risk either being kidnapped or killed.
Okay. And we had a border agent that was killed over the weekend. This is going to spill over, and already has in the United States. You say these are now, right here in our country, a new kind of terrorist in our country.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what, Glenn? Their reach goes way beyond the border. They have cells in Chicago, Dallas, Atlanta, in Virginia, in L.A. These guys can have somebody executed with a text message. They don't have to cross the border to inflict any violence upon our people.
Rusty, thank you very much. Thanks for